It's me, Bree McGee. Welcome to my little corner of the world. Today is very bad for hay fever, so I look particularly bad. And for some reason it's worse when it's overcast and dull, and I don't understand that. I thought it would be worse when the sun was shining, but that's not the case. But I don't know if anyone else is struggling with this, but I'm really feeling the effects today. Now, I was going to talk about how living alone, in my opinion, is going to become something that most people won't be able to afford to do in the future. In the past few years alone, my grocery bill has quadrupled and has become very difficult to afford. And that doesn't include all the bills. Of course, rent and mortgage or whatever, and council tax and everything else has gone up exponentially too. And I am finding it very difficult to afford to pay all of these bills that we have to pay in order to live on this planet. I don't think it should be this expensive to live a normal life. Of course, if you want to live a high life with lots of high-end products and things, and if you want to live on a yacht, fair enough, it's going to be expensive. But for the likes of me, just an everyday person, I just don't think it should be this difficult to afford what I need, not necessarily what I want. And I think very soon, in my opinion at least, very soon will come a time where people on their own, like me, just won't be able to afford an entire house to themselves, even a very small one like mine. And so I wonder where that will leave people. Will they have to buddy up and share a place with someone else, or maybe they'll have to get into a relationship and live with someone else in that way? I don't know, but all I know is that every time I look at my bank statement, I'm in a state of horror at how much everything is costing. I keep a close eye on what I spend, and I know where every single penny goes. And I have to do that in order to know where I can shave off bits and pieces here and there. I've given up things like Netflix. All the nice stuff that you would like to have, I've given up. I've got a very low telephone. It's not a contract, it's a month by month thing. And I've had to cut out a lot of things I used to enjoy having, just in order to afford to pay the rest of my bills. Everyone in the UK, I think, right now is feeling the pinch, or at least those in our category, and are struggling. I especially worry about the older generation, who are not only struggling on their pensions, but have had their winter fuel allowance cut by this current government, and I do worry very much about them. And I just don't know what the answer is. I just wanted to talk about how it's going to be more and more difficult for people who want to live by themselves. If you've got 2 or more incomes coming in, I imagine even then it's difficult to pay for everything. But if you've only got 1 income coming in, it's extremely hard to afford everything, because you still have to heat the whole house if you want to be warm. I guess you could turn heaters off and things, and heat just 1 room, but then if you're moving from room to room, that becomes problematic. We still have to run the washer, we still have to use things like microwaves, ovens and hobs, so we're still paying quite a lot of the same things that multiple income households pay for. Obviously less food and things like that, but it's just very hard to afford this extortionate amount of money we pay every month for what we have. Even things like council tax, that is very expensive. And for what you get in return, I don't think it's worth it. You know, we pay for the police, which is fine, but I never contact the police. By God's grace, I haven't had to for quite a while now. I have in the past, but for a while now I've not had to contact them, but we all have to pay towards that. There's the social care aspect, which again is fine, but street lighting and things that's been cut right back, and bin collections have got fewer, and yet we're paying more and more each month for these services that they seem to be cutting back. So yeah, there's no answer to this, unfortunately, and we just have to struggle along. But had I known in the past that in my late 50s I'd be struggling this much, I don't know if I would have believed it. That I don't think I would have been able to even comprehend it. But here we are. We have to pay a lot of money just to exist on this beautiful planet that we live on, and we don't have much choice in the matter. So I guess it's back to the books, back to trying to find a way to cut back on my spending even more, and I'll take it from there. Well, I'd like to say thank you for listening, and from my little corner of the world to yours, goodbye. Bye-bye.